Wait, so how exactly would this work? Hypothetically, I was actually interested. Hey guys, no idea how to do this, so I'm just kind of jumping in. Um, the original idea is that apparently I am making videos where I just write. I don't know what I want it to look like, but I will make it work, apparently. Uh, right now, we're just gonna. I was gonna do personal blog this morning, but after setting everything up, I just don't feel like doing that. So I'm gonna do something a little more fun, which will be writing for my D&D campaign. If you're one of my players, don't look this. Should be obvious, but yeah. Okay, let's open this up. Not very well organized, but it is organized, I suppose. Campaign is called Broken Dreams in the Forgotten Past. Why that name? Don't worry about it. But we need to figure out what we're doing at this point going forward. Right now, the characters are just starting a new part of their quest, which will involve. There's currently a war going on between the gods. One of the characters really wants one side of the war to win. Another one of the characters wants to gain favor with one of the gods, and in order to kind of achieve these two goals together, they've decided that they are going to try and kill one of the gods. They're actually trying to kill Niaskalon of Choice, who is a big general in the wild side of the war. It's a war between wild gods and order gods. But the one they're going after right now is Eliha, Remnant Windwalker, as if they can take her out quietly, and perhaps get one of their friendly NPC to ascend to her station, then they might be able to win the war. In order to address this, I need to figure out what her deal is. I need to make a stat block for her, perhaps, and all that. We're going to start. She has these powers of prophecy. I, I need to kind of look at what these mean. I've already mentioned that she may have dreams that are prophetic. And then in combat, something similar to the way Atium works in Mistborn. I think that the way that Brandon Sanderson did that, all of his medals in Mistborn are super cool. I feel like if I could make a magic system that was just based on Mistborn, that'd be so cool. Like a D&D type system. I don't know how doable that would be. It feels like it'd be easier to do it based on Mistborn than it would on Stormlight Archive, although Stormlight Archive is also amazing, just because Mistborn has a more modularized power set, and I feel like the Spren would just add an extra complication that if I was going to start with this, I'd start there. But anyway, that's too much. So how would this ATM ability work in combat? Just right off the bat, I would say, because you know what someone's going to do before they're going to do it. So we could just do something like the Foresight spell. That's something we already have in D&D, but it's not something super unique. It doesn't feel mechanically interesting. It's just advantage on everything, disadvantage on attack rolls against you, which kind of feels like what ATM did, but it doesn't have that. When they're playing against it, it's just going to feel like a slog fest. It's going to feel like she just rolls better than them, which isn't really exciting narratively. Other things. I've kind of played with some. Okay, but she can't really time travel. She can just. Because I played with some time travel spells for one of the other NPCs. I could show you those. I'll show you those in a bit. But for now, I have some time travel spells. I don't really think that's what we want to go for. If I were to say what I wanted, Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. What does it mean to tell the future while you're fighting something? Um, if it always knows what you're about to do, because I don't know what they're about to do. That's kind of the problem. Because like if I knew what they were about to do, then I could just have her act with the knowledge of what they're about to do. But I don't like in combat. I don't know what the characters are about to do, and so that makes it more difficult. Um, I must have these flight and deception powers. Um, huh. What would? Well, I imagine that it would just be like, I don't know. I'll work on that in a bit. I'm going to move on. I kind of not really having any specific thoughts there. Might be part of the thing that I'm trying to do this recording, and I haven't really done that before, but I'll come back to that. She's going to have a lot of Tempest abilities. I'm thinking that the Elder Tempest from uh, from Elemental Evil, I think it's from. I may steal some of the abilities from that. I think she can turn into wind. She can blow them away. They were asking this sage about what they should. Well, not technically a sage, but whatever. They're asking this sage about what she could do, and that was one thing I mentioned is that she could just blow them halfway across the continent, and so that's going to be in one of her abilities. I don't know how I'll make that work, but um, air form, lightning storm. Okay, but it's not really about lightning. She's mostly about wind, mostly wind powers. Um, so the Elder Tempest has a lot of lightning stuff, but I kind of had her more in the wind category, as lightning is something that's the NPC that may take her places has lightning powers, so that would be interesting if she kind of shifted into a more lightning entity, or he. I guess the new one would be he if she died. Um, huh. Deception. She has power of deception. There's a lot of deception gods, especially among the seven ancients. I kind of like trickster archetypes, and so I tend to make them all a little bit about that. But if I were to say deception, um, well, what if, she lies? Well, what if I had an altered version of the invoked is duplicity that clerics can do? That's that's simple enough. Uh, invoke duplicity, I'd probably make it a bonus action for her because I always thought that the cleric's invoke duplicity should be a bonus action. It should be a bonus action, shouldn't it? Like it's dumb as it is because it takes your full action. It's like your entire turn to spend doing whatever. And like a bonus action is a significant cost for a cleric because clerics have their spiritual weapon, and so I mean, I'm not saying that clerics need to be stronger, but like this subclass, nobody takes it because it's just kind of its main feature is just unusable. I guess I want to actually move, but I mean, like, starting it in the beginning. Okay. So I will add invoke duplicity. But let's modify this. As an action, you create a perfect duplicate of yourself that lasts for 1 minute. As an action, as a bonus action that lasts for 1 minute. Let's take out the concentration part, as concentration is a little. It shouldn't have concentration. I don't know if it should have concentration. Either way, it shouldn't be. It should be a bonus action, but concentration is also pretty hard to make it work with. Because then you can't cast any of the other concentration spells, and that's like half the cleric spell list, and they're so good. And like bonus action on your turns, as part of your movement on subsequent turns, you can move the illusion up to 30 feet to a space you can see, but it must remain up to. This is the to a space you can see. up to 90 feet, and she's a god of prophecy, so she probably doesn't need to be able to see. Oh, what's the ghostly gaze thing that the warlocks get? That would be like, that would give like her a bit more of the prophecy, or I'd probably call it wind sight. Wind sight, or I'm probably going to rename it later. Duplicity wind sight. You can see through all solid objects. Okay. And I need to change this also. It says Eliha, because that's how the stat blocks do it in D&D, and I want to keep with that. Let's close some of the other tabs. It's a Chromebook, so like it can't handle more than one tab at a time. Creates a perfect illusion of herself. Lasts for 1 minute. The illusion appears in an unoccupied space that occupied space within 30 feet of her. As part of her movement, on subsequent turns, she... Pronouns are so annoying. Oh, and my pronouns, by the way, I don't know. I'm gender fluid. Right now, I'd probably prefer to be called she, her, but like, I'm also like, I don't know, my voice is... I need to do voice training and figure out how to talk in a more feminine fashion, because it just stresses me out. It's one of the reasons I don't really like talking. And one of the reasons I'm nervous and talking so quickly is because I'm nervous. And anyway, for the narration, she can cast spells and use abilities as though she were in the illusion space, but let's take out this but must use on senses thing, because she's a goddess. Additionally, when both her and her illusion are within 5 feet of a creature that can see the illusion, she has advantage on attack rolls. And no, I'm not against that creature. And that creature has disadvantage on saving throws against her ability. Has disadvantage on saving throws. I don't know what it always has. It doesn't recognize disadvantage or advantage as like a proper noun, I guess. A proper noun, is that what it is? And so it's trying to make me add on, and it's really annoying. I wish there was a way for me to integrate. There probably is, but I don't wish it that much. I wish it, but I don't wish I didn't have to do anything about it. Oh, it's not fun. Okay, I'm heading over to look for the ghostly gaze ability, because I'm gonna try and steal some of the wording from that. As an action, okay. Let's see. Eliha can see, has true sight, one. Yeah, because she can see like true sight with a range of 1 mile, and can see any area with, how do I word this? Any area with airflow. So objects within that range, so long as provided the range of 1 mile. Let's see, there's a lot of objects within that range provided there's airflow between her and her target. Sensation as the airbrush into them. Inquisitive. Holy. And just imagine. Yeah, as you're walking along, you feel the air begin to brush against you inquisitively. That's actually something that one of the player characters has, kind of. And maybe I want this to be 5 miles. I want it to be pretty far. I may switch it to like 2 miles or something. I'm back and forth on it. But True Sight, like for that far, is pretty impressive. She's the god of prophecy, though. Insightful dreamer. So, in order to stop, they have access to a magic item that lets them answer any question, which is one of the reasons that they're going to be able to fight a CR 24 creature at level 10, is because that is... It's not a combat magic item, but it's a knowledge magic item, which I think is even more fun because it allows a lot of strategy and stuff that it'll help them in combat, but it's not just a combat item, and it's a lot more original and like it adds to the narrative a bit better. But the problem with that means that I have to write everything always forever because they need to know those things. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Ineffable. Ineffable means like can't be stopped, right? Ineffable, too great to be spoken or uttered. Well, we'll say that anyway, even though it's not quite what I thought it meant. Ineffable flight. Maybe it's not the right word. I don't know. Well, the names are bad. I get it, but no one actually has to see the names. They just have to see the abilities, and hopefully those are okay. While flying, Eliha cannot be knocked prone, or cannot be grappled, restrained. What's the freedom of movement? What does it all give? Because I do want there to be an option where if they can like earthbind her to the ground in some way, probably not through the earthbind spell because it's terrible and none of them would have it. But oh, that's not what I meant. Then she loses some of these immunities, but she's going to have immunity to basically every condition under the sun, as long as she's in the air. Restrained, she be paralyzed? Yeah, I think she can't be paralyzed. Well, let's say her actions can be restricted, but her movement cannot. Eliha's movement speed cannot be reduced by any means short of the wish spell. Kind of fun, huh? Movement speed cannot be reduced by any means. Does reduced include cannot be reduced or negated by any means short of the wish spell. Movement speed cannot be reduced or negated by any means short of the wish spell. Don't know what her flying speed will be, but it'll be something absurd, like 500 feet per second. She's going to be... I don't know how they plan on beating her. But I need to have a plan. Well, they're going to have to plan something together. Reduced or negated by any means short of the wish spell. So I can't just give them how to defeat her, because like if I make up the plan, then it's like it steals their freedom. Can be reduced or negated by any means. So is that all I wanted? Because I was also thinking that like she can fly. Let's see. Let's see. Eliha has a flying speed of let's do, it's got to be absurd, 500 feet, and cannot and can fit through spaces as small as 1 inch. While flying, Eliha's movement speed cannot be reduced or negated by any means short of the wish spell. And I am better. I don't know if that quite makes sense. Yeah, her movement speed cannot be reduced. Like she could be stuck. Like if there was an airtight bottle that they managed to cork her inside of. Don't know how you get a bottle that big or how you stick a god inside of it. But if they did, then it wouldn't reduce her movement speed. She still have 500 feet of movement, but she couldn't go anywhere. Like I think that's pretty clear by that ability. But I just want to throw that out there. Prophecy is so weird in D&D because like all the spells that do it, like divination or I think there might even be a prophecy, I don't remember, but they're all like so vague and they make the DM do all the work, and like I don't know the future. That's the problem. I guess the game kind of knows that, but I want to make a god that does, kind of. Oh, fate and destiny are so weird in this world, and so hmm, hmm, hmm. I wonder what it means as peace. What does that mean? Uh, Eliha's peace. So this is something that I was thinking I'd give to one of the gods. I'm not sure if I'll give it to her or not because it's also something that could belong to Timora. I think it works better for her though. Yeah, Timora will have something else. Timora in my world is it's Timora Fortune Veil. She's the goddess of luck. She's a little flighty and stuff. She's a she's a character, all right. Um, uh, and she has some weird stuff going on. Pact with Niascalon she made. Niascalon's the god of choice as well as trickery and war, and so um, you know that went badly for her. We'll talk about it later. Okay, Liha's piece. As an action, she can. Let's see. This is like 3 per day, maybe. I don't know. She can call. Uh, so each within 1 mile of her must succeed on a charisma, intelligence, wisdom. Probably wisdom. Or drop their weapons. And cease fighting. Creatures affected in this way cannot cast. Let's see. What's the sanctuary? It's basically like ultra sanctuary, right? So wisdom saving throw. Um, maybe it should only be once a day. I'm just imagining that in like a battlefield, which is something she should be able to do. Um, and because she's a god, she's got to have like cosmic abilities, but she also needs to only be CR 24, and so it's so hard to know where to draw the lines and stuff. Um, uh, Action this way cannot make attack rolls as harmful spells or perform any action that would harm another creature. Until um, uh, I want it to be like 2 maybe. I don't know. Maybe this is fine. For him to see what she does. So each creature with a 1 mile harmless can always save their own, drop their weapons, cease fighting. Just in this way cannot make attack rolls, cast harmful spells, perform any action that would harm another creature until the end of Eliha's next turn. Don't know if that's a full action or not. I'm just kind of like trying to spitball ideas, and then I'll like try and codify them together into a complete power set. She's the goddess of peace, though. She doesn't have too much offensive stuff. Tempest. Let's see. Tempestuous rebuke. This is somehow going to send somebody halfway across the strength saving throw or be tossed across the world. I don't know what I want that to be yet. Well, that's all I feel like writing as far as Eliha's stat block for now. So let's close that up and see if there's anything else that I really feel like interested in. Sorry, that's kind of abrupt, but when I'm not feeling it anymore, I just kind of don't want to do it, Oh, so many things. Another enemy, I don't really want to design their stat blocks or anything. They're probably going to be sooner, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Yeah, so this is actually a Curse of Strahd campaign, as weird as that may seem, with a war between gods and whatever. In the original campaign, they managed to time travel to the past, and now they're hanging out here. But this sage I keep talking about, it's actually it's called the Mirror of what is it called? It's Rahadin's Locket, but it's also called the Mirror of I don't remember. But basically, it's to the current characters, it actually looks like a television set, which they go in there and it's like random TV stuff, and they can ask questions and they can get answers regarding whatever they want to know. But what they don't know is that it actually is just connecting them to the past where Rahadin is, or where Strahd is. In the past campaign, one of the characters is from that campaign, but the other ones are all new. In the past, they managed to kill Rahadin, steal his locket, which he was using as a communication device with Strahd. It had like a mini scrying pool that connected to Strahd's scrying pool in his manor. They realized that. They saw Strahd in the mirror. They quickly closed it. They attempt to banish it. Banishment didn't work in my world because teleportation, I made like a strong lock on teleportation of any kind. And so banishment, instead of, I think in normal Curse of Strahd campaigns, it'll just send it to a demiplane, and like it's still connected to this one or something like that. Mine, it couldn't do that. It couldn't get out in any way. And so I had them roll a d20. They were close to a Sphinx's lair, and so it was a possibility. Ended up sending the locket to the past. A few sessions later, more magic shenanigans. They attempt to banish one of their party members, rolling at 20, end up sending them to the past as well due to because that's what they wanted, I guess. And here we are. So what this means is that there is this mirror that can connect, and it's in the past. They sent it to the past, and then they found it in the dirt, so they assumed that it was just buried in the dirt the whole time. Obviously, it wasn't, because that would be boring. And so instead, it's this locket that anybody can use to communicate with Strahd, and it's been used a ton of times by people throughout history to manipulate things, and that's kind of one of the biggest things that changed the past. For truth once spoken can't be claimed, and hearts once broken forever maimed. Through will and magic and name must true, the heart's own knowledge is reflected through. This is the poem that Strahd's written on there. And then they have to inscribe their name on there to kind of add the owners. I was kind of to give them a bit of knowledge that it might be more than they bargained for. They just kind of ignored it. They've probably forgotten about it. But if someone new tries to attune to it, they'll have to write their name in. They'll see all these. He couldn't read most of them because he didn't know all the scripts, but we have Strahd, the original owner of the locket, writing his name in Thieves' Cant Elvish, which is that's actually something that one of the characters said that they used to stop the other party members from reading it. Their Thieves' Cant, but in Elvish instead of in Common, and I'm like, sure, that works. And there's kind of a running, whether it's a gag or it's a there's a possibility that one of the characters will actually grow up to be Strahd, because will end up becoming Strahd through the course of the campaign, because this is set in the past, and so it's a possibility. And so it's that character, the Siniad character, is what their name is. Then the Rahadin, Mortinum, it's the halfling script. It's basically the language of undeath, kind of related to the Shadowfell, but my Shadowfell is a little different. But if there's a Sylvan script, it's basically the opposite of Sylvan, but for undeath, and it's written in the halfling script, which I think is kind of important. Whenever I'm studying languages, instead of just saying you don't know the language, I also ask what scripts they have, and so then I can tell them, well, you don't know the language, but you do know the script. It's in the Elven script, or it's in the halfling script, and so they can kind of learn additional information. It's kind of somewhat important to their origins if they're trying to research that. Most people don't, but you'd be surprised how much they're researching in this campaign and subjects they're interested in. Nestor, that's going to be an important character. I'm not really going to get into it right now, but a very important character. Lolth Frostmistress. This is one of the gods, the goddess of vengeance and frost. Not really a lot like the original Lolth. She still has spider powers, because I think those are cool, but she's not like the same evil death cult, whatever. Adalith of Love. This is another one of the gods. She's dead now. She used it to protect her city from invaders. Itlegard. This is a giant that I don't know if I've written too much about him, but he managed to get it from Adalith. Silviri Silversong. This is a cleric of Adalith who took it and reclaimed it for Adalith, and kind of in her name. Anti-Green Bones. This is I kind of stole some stuff from the Reflections of the book Candlekeep Mysteries. There's like a short story in there about about like a bathhouse and like these evil hags that have replaced it. And so she replaced Silviri Silversong there, and that's actually where they ended up getting it, is from her. She was using it to conduct demon rituals and lock people in mirrors, or lock people in paintings and stuff. Because it has a bunch of other abilities related to sight. It can do some scrying stuff, although they haven't really used it for that, because they can just ask it questions, and that's like basically what it does for them. But it takes like a different form for each person, and so I kind of, and then finally the Sylvan Dagger, who is the name of the character that currently has possession of it, and that's also an Elvish Thieves' Cant. Wait, it's an Elvish Thieves' Cant? It shouldn't be, because then he would have read this one and seen that it was belonged to Strahd. Did he see that? Did I tell him? I don't remember if I did or not. I didn't know that he knew the Elvish Thieves' Cant. I thought it was Cinia that did that. I don't know. It never claimed to be a perfect DM. But that's that. At some point, I'm going to have to think through what his plan is, if killing the god is somehow related to that, but I don't really feel like doing. I don't know. Maybe I'm done writing for today. It is kind of weird to be talking constantly, and it kind of makes me feel like I'm talking to myself. Maybe I'm crazy. Just a little bit. Well, if anyone sees this, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try and do a similar thing, half hour to an hour each morning. What I'm doing will change a bit. Sometimes it'll be writing, sometimes it'll be drawing. Not the best at drawing, but I can kind of do some stuff in SVGs and Inkscape or whatever the equivalent is on a Chromebook. Um, uh, or just kind of whatever I need to do. Sometimes I'll be gaming if I don't really feel like doing anything creative, but I'd rather do something creative because gaming is annoying. I play Magic and chess mostly. Yeah, kind of boring games. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll peace.